Shadows of the Whispering Woods. His name was Ethan Reed, a 24-year-old adventure seeker from a small town in the Pacific Northwest. Ethan had always been drawn to the wild, hiking trails, climbing rocks, chasing the thrill of the unknown. He'd grown up on stories from his grandfather, a former park ranger, about the vast blackthorn forest, a sprawling wilderness of ancient pines and hidden ravines that bordered the Cascade Mountains. Beautiful but unforgiving, his grandfather had warned. Respect it, or it'll claim you. One crisp autumn afternoon in October, Ethan set out alone for what was supposed to be a day hike. He parked his truck at the trailhead, slung his backpack over his shoulders, filled with water, snacks, a compass, a knife, and a lightweight jacket, and ventured deeper than he'd planned. The marked trail was familiar, but a faint side path caught his eye, promising views of a hidden waterfall. Just a quick detour, he told himself. The sun was high, the air fresh with pine scent. What could go wrong? Hours passed. The detour led to thicker underbrush, and soon the path vanished. Ethan checked his phone. No signal. His compass spun erratically. He'd later learned the area was riddled with iron deposits that interfered with readings. Panic flickered, but he pushed it down. Stay calm, he muttered. Follow the sun west. But as clouds rolled in and dusk crept early, the forest transformed. Trees loomed like sentinels, their branches clawing at the fading light. He stumbled over roots, scratched by thorns, as darkness swallowed the woods. Night fell like a curtain. The temperature plummeted, and Ethan realized his first grave mistake. No flashlight, only his phone's dying battery. He conserved it, using the dim screen sparingly to navigate. Hunger gnawed. He'd eaten his snacks hours ago. Thirst followed. His water bottle was half empty. The sounds of the forest amplified in the black. Rustling leaves, distant howls that could be coyotes or wolves, the snap of twigs under unseen feet. Fear coiled in his gut. This is real, he whispered to himself. You're lost. Ethan's courage kicked in. He remembered his grandfather's survival lessons. Prioritize shelter, water, fire. Hypothermia was the immediate killer in these woods. Using his knife, he gathered branches, building a lean-to shelter against a fallen log. He piled pine needles for insulation, his hands trembling from cold and adrenaline. As rain began to drizzle, turning the ground slick, he huddled inside, listening to the storm rage. Dawn brought no relief. Fog shrouded everything, visibility down to yards. Ethan rationed his water, searching for a stream. He found one, murky but flowing. Boiling it wasn't an option yet, so he risked drinking, filtering through his shirt. His stomach cramped later, but he pressed on. Food was next. He foraged berries his grandfather had taught him were safe, salal and huckleberries, but sparingly, unsure in the dim light. The second night tested him harder. Exhaustion weighed like lead, but he forced himself to build a fire. Rubbing sticks together failed, his hands blistered. In desperation, he used the lens from his watch to focus faint sunlight earlier, but night brought failure. Sparks finally caught on dry tinder he'd scavenged. The small flame was a beacon of hope. He fed it carefully, warming his numb fingers, roasting foraged roots. Challenges mounted. On the third day, a bear crossed his path, a massive black bear foraging. Ethan's heart thundered. He backed away slowly, making noise as taught. "Hey bear, go away." The beast huffed, stood on hind legs, then ambled off, but the encounter left him shaken, knife gripped tight. He climbed a tree to sleep that night, tying himself with vines to avoid predators. Worse came on day 4. A raging river blocked his downward path, swollen from rain. The current roared, rocks slick with moss. Crossing meant death if he slipped. Ethan scouted upstream, finding a narrower spot with a fallen log. Balancing precariously, arms outstretched, he inched across. Midway, the log shifted under his weight. He lunged, grabbing a branch, pulling himself to safety as the log tumbled into the froth below. Soaked and bruised, he collapsed on the bank, sobbing from relief. "Not today. I'm getting out." Delirium set in by day 5, dehydration despite the river, infection from scratches, hallucinations of voices calling his name. But bravery burned brighter. He marked trees with his knife, creating a trail, climbed ridges for vantage, spotting distant smoke, civilization. He pushed towards it, through thorn thickets that tore his clothes and skin. The final trial, a sheer cliff edge at dawn on day 6. Below, a valley opened to a logging road, but the drop was deadly, the path crumbling. One wrong step meant plummeting. Ethan edged along a narrow ledge, rocks crumbling underfoot. Halfway, a section gave way. He slipped, dangling by one hand, legs kicking over abyss. Screaming with effort, he hauled himself up, muscles screaming, fingers bleeding. "For Grandpa," he grunted, "for life." As sunrise painted the sky gold, Ethan reached solid ground. He stumbled down the slope, collapsing at the road's edge. A passing logger found him, dehydrated, battered, but alive. Rescued and recovered, Ethan emerged changed, humbled, stronger. He became a search and rescue volunteer, teaching others, the woods don't forgive mistakes, but courage can carry you through the darkest nights. His survival wasn't luck, it was the fire of bravery that refused to extinguish even when all light seemed lost.